Sean, I am very excited because in 3 seconds I was able to put together a video that has fixed the problem of me not knowing if we're live or not when I click go live. So my
Love it. I
promise
love
to
it.
the fans, to the viewers, is that I will make that video pretty with the outro. But that is our theme music, which if you've only seen our live shows, you might not have heard before.
True, that's true.
But I
The
feel
first
good.
time I think actually we played it during the live.
No question. No question. Hey, this is Yelling and Screaming NFL Week 5 previews. Sean, pretty good week of football.
Honestly, a lot better than I expected. A lot happened. A lot of fun games, some fun plays, and so yeah, it'd be dope to kind of give a recap and kind of see what the league is looking like for next.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll jump right into it. Maybe this is the week we nail it from a timing standpoint.
Well, we got to get going, so let's make it happen.
All right, Thursday night football, Falcons and Bucks. As we sit here right now, Falcons are a 1.5-point favorite. What do you have for Thursday night football?
Honestly, I mean Falcons because they're at home, they're 1.5 point favorite, but Bucks look pretty solid, man. Like I would give it the nod right now to the Bucks in that game. I mean, Baker's just playing good football. You know, Irving back there now. I feel like they've got their number one guy in the backfield. He's been doing a great job. Defense played strong this week. Um, I, I like the way they're playing. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Falcons offense, has a lot of pieces that they can put together to really make it happen. But has anybody seen Cal Pitts? I feel like it's been missing. And at the end of the day, like you need a fully functional offense to really compete in the NFL nowadays. So I like the Bucks.
The Bucks looked great first 2 weeks of the season. Ran into what we thought was a huge surprise. Got kind of walloped on by the Broncos defense. That's the same Broncos defense just shut down the Jets completely. So, small sample sizes here at the beginning of the year, but this is a Thursday night football game I'm really excited to watch. And I think that the Bucks offense is what we've seen 3 of the 4 weeks and not the week against the Broncos.
Yeah, they played against a very, very strong defense in the Broncos because although their offense is trash, they do not give up a lot of points. So Falcons is not nearly the same caliber defense. I'd say they definitely have a much more high profile, high power offense. Thursday night game, prime time. It'll be fun to watch.
Speaking of teams that have been shut down by the mighty Broncos, we're going to go across the pond, and I would just like to take it upon myself to apologize to England. We got Jets Vikings Sunday morning football.
I'm going to tell you right now, Sam Darnold, early MVP candidate. I don't know what the hell happened, but not only are the Jets a place where people need to get out of, and Carolina's a place where people need to get out of, but if you're a quarterback in the NFL and your career is kind of shaky or whatever it is, you're not having some good years, get over to the Vikings. It seems like guys really rejuvenate those careers over there. So I mean, their offense looks solid right now. Like they're doing a great job, and I think offense stagnant, especially after that loss to Broncos this past week. Broncos have a really good defense, but the defense of Minnesota ain't nothing to scratch your head at. So I am excited for Vikings to be an early 5-0 favorite to take the NFC. But
Wild.
It's crazy to see that. I mean, they have the talent. They have the talent on offense. You just didn't think that Sam Darnold was going to be able to not just be a game manager, but be an electric quarterback where he needs to, putting the ball on his receivers and letting them do their thing. And I mean, I'm excited for him. Not gonna lie, I have not been excited for Minnesota. And looking at what happened with Cousins, and his stint there, and how it got him to where he is now. But realistically, like guys going to Minnesota, really revamping those careers. It's pretty cool to see.
And he's, like you said, he's not game managing. He is winning games. It's very impressive to see. Obviously, they have a ton of weapons. I got the Vikings here 2.5 right now. Whatever that was with the Jets last week, I can't feel good about taking the Jets side of things.
Realistically, it's a no-way game for both because you're playing across the pond. The timing is going to be different. It's going to be a little bit. It's going to be a different feel, playing overseas. But at the same time, like, you know what you're doing if you're Minnesota. Don't reinvent the wheel. Come out, play tough, and show the Jets that they were supposed to be one of those better teams in the league, and you're gonna.
All right. Panthers, Bears. Bears are a 3.5-point favorite, and man, it might not be enough. I got maybe 17 to 6 in this game. Bears with a dominating defensive presence, maybe something along that way. They looked better last week. I mean, they seem to be putting it all together offensively. They're still not turning it into gobs of points, but they're looking more cohesive. For whatever
I
that's
can agree
worth.
with that. I definitely think that they look more cohesive. I think they're starting to try to figure out some things that's going on with the offensive line because it has been atrocious. Um, but I think really at the end of the day, this is teams, one that has no idea what's happening, and the other one who's trying to get themselves. So they're looking for that next step. They're trying to get, they're feeling their guy out. They got their quarterback, their quarterback, their franchise quarterback for some time. Now they just got to get some pieces together, heal out some play calls, really understand how he plays, how to get the ball to those receivers, and then really, really put that team together and kind of get what we were looking for to come out of there. Because really, I mean, Caleb Williams didn't do anything phenomenal this past week. For 157 yards. So it wasn't like it was anything crazy. Game management, realistically, is what happened in this game against the Rams. And I would like to see them actually put together a strong offensive performance against a not very good Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, it's a good time for a get right game. They've won some games, so I don't know if get right is exactly the right thing, but the Panthers defense is the spot where you can kind of come together as a team and just put up 35 points without really too much effort, I would think, with all the weapons that they have. Swift finally reemerged to a certain extent. I mean, if they can get the running game going, maybe it helps the offensive line pass block. I
Definitely.
think this is a game where the Bears could win
that.
and look convincing.
I can see that being the case. I mean, it depends on how much time their defense. You really, if your offense gets going, manages the clock, and really takes the control of the game, then it's a no-brainer. It's gonna be Bears. But if the Bears get in situations where it's third and long, where Caleb Williams is, where he's throwing a lot, and it's and he's getting pressured a lot, then it's going to be a long
game. Ravens Bengals, man, I have no idea at this point what to think about half these teams. The Bills, the Bills were supposed to just go on a steamroll here and do their thing, and now I'm looking at Ravens -2.5 on the road, and looking at a Bengals team that defense isn't great, but puts up a ton of points. Like I have no idea what to think about this game. I don't know which version of these teams we're going to get.
Well, I think the Ravens are finally putting together what they should have been putting together a long time ago with Derrick Henry. Right now, the man is running all over the goddamn field. I mean, what do you have, an 80 rush? And he's not spring chicken. He's not, one of those first and second year guys. And yet he's outrunning safeties and cornerbacks. So I think that the Ravens now are starting to put together what they were expecting to be coming from this team. And so to see Derrick Henry doing that, and then actually start to get more play calls now where Lamar's got more space on the field where he can play action, get the ball to Zay Flowers, get the ball to Bateman, and kind of see that offense really, really get to where it's been in some previous years where they're averaging 30 points.
All right. I think we lost Sean for a second. Just high level for me. I don't know. The Bengals obviously defensively aren't going to be able to stop pretty much anything the Ravens are going to do. The question for me is, can the Ravens get on board and lean into Derrick Henry to the point where that becomes something meaningful for them? I don't think they're going to beat him through the air. They're obviously having some difficulties at tight end. Tight ends have really not been involved much at all this season. So if you can get the running game going, get those tight ends going, I just don't think that the Bengals defense is going to be able to stop them. I think we're going to be in a situation where they're going to run downhill. And like I said, look for the tight ends to get involved.
Hello, Rick.
I've got you, bud. We kept it going. I talked a little bit about the Ravens tight ends.
I got you. Yeah, sorry, a little connection issue there. Ravens, I mean, Mark Andrews has been invisible. But I think that they are going to use him much more in the running scheme than they've used him before. Obviously, having having a dynamic rush offense is what's made them so great in the past few years. But having a runner like Derrick Henry, who they have not had, a reliable 4-down back, Andrews just doesn't seem like he's in what they've used.
All right. I think I lost Sean again. We're going to go ahead and move on quickly, see if he reconnects. Bills Texans. Oh man, the Bills didn't give us what we were looking for. The Bills kind of fell flat. We know Josh Allen has the talent. We know that team is a talented team, but man, they can go downhill in a hurry. Really want to see a little bit more consistency out of the Bills. Texans might be the spot to do that. They looked horrific against the Vikings, but we were just talking about how the Vikings look pretty damn good. I'm not sure that losing in that way is the worst thing. I think it might wake everybody up. This is Houston -1, which is a really interesting line. Sean, what do you got on Bills Texans? Oh, I've got no mic from you. There you go.
I take Houston in this game because I've seen two super instances.
Oh, it's mad. StreamYard is mad today.
That's unfortunate. Let's see. Got me now? And it's not my internet connection, so I'm not really sure what it is.
Might be StreamYard just angry.
It's just Allen for Josh Allen has been such a statistical monster that we were realistically, these are situations right here. Like, this is where you need to take over and actually be the guy that be the cover of man, and after last week's demolishing of the Bills by the Ravens, I am not too sure that I'm sold really on the Bills. I mean, I think the Texans by -1 is a good take here. I think that CJ Stroud and that team is going to have a good game. They played, they beat the Jaguars. It wasn't the greatest performance to win it that game. They were 3-0, and they did play against a Ravens team who's really figuring out offense. I think the Texans have the potential to have a solid to have a good rush game. They have a similar caliber play set. Could do that, but they just shout out to my Nico Collins, by the way, fantasy monster. All right, absolute beast. That's my guy. I think that anybody in fantasy who doesn't have Collins, if he's available somewhere, you pick him up. I don't know what's going on with you guys if you don't have him, but pick his ass up because he has been a monster all season so far. So,
yeah, it's going to be coming. I think we've seen the worst that the Texans' offense can be. They might lose some more games, obviously, but I think that was the bottom of the barrel for the offense. So I think there's upside here. There's more touches to be had. There's more points to be had. I'm excited to see
and take into account
kind of where they move.
Take into account that it was also a divisional game too, right? People, that game against the Colts was a divisional game. So at the end of the day, like, you got to take those games with a grain of salt. I mean, sometimes you've played a team so many times, you've got their number. but it'll be a fun game to watch. Definitely going to be a fun game to watch in the early slate.
So speaking of division, let's move to Colts Jaguars here. Two-thirds of the rest of the teams in that division. Jags are 2.5-point favorites. I really don't have much to say about this one. I'm interested to see it. I think we'll learn a lot about who these teams are, but the Colts look really one-dimensional, and Flacco potentially playing could fix that. Somehow I think Flacco is actually the better passing weapon, even at this point, than Richardson is. And that could really help them win games. They have no problem running the ball, but they've had a lot of problems with the pass game. It just kind of hasn't been relevant. And I think that Flacco might be able to help them there, at least enough to beat the Jaguars.
Flacco is literally doing the same thing. He's running it back. He's doing the same thing that he did last year. Coming in for the Browns and playing for Deshaun Watson and just taking that team to taking that team to the next level, and just seeing the fact that Richardson is not a consistent passer. He can get the ball down the field with a flick, but he can't dump it off 10 yards accurately. And the fact that he had that concussion, if you're the Colts, JTT's doing his thing, you might as well let Flacco come out there and just play the way that he's played in his career. I mean, the guy can throw. He can throw. He's a smart passer. He's already got a Super Bowl on his belt, so it's not like he's not of that pedigree. Against the Jags team that is just in disarray. I mean, their rush offense, I'm not seeing anything from, Trevor Lawrence looks lost back there. I mean, I guess they're getting exposed to the fact that they had third-string wide receivers out there like their number ones, because it wasn't that, I never had faith in them in that regard. So, I mean, they've had this weird bubble where people are always expecting them to be better, and I'm never quite sure if the Jags are ever going to be a plus 10 or plus, anything more than a 10-11 win team. So, then starting off the season 0-4, I mean, they can only go up, but I don't see it this week necessarily. I mean, you got to stop the run.
I think part of it is that this division has been atrocious for so long that a 9-win Jaguars team looks like world beaters, and they do make the playoffs. They get steamrolled by whoever they play in the playoffs, but it's been acceptable for a while, and the fan base has had a playoff team, and now the expectations are playoffs. And from a personnel standpoint, like you alluded to, maybe that should not be the expectation, but we'll see what they can do against what, at least I guess on paper, is a depleted Colts team. It's not their starting quarterback. I'm not sure the drop off to Flacco matters, because it just kind of changes their offense, but it's going to be interesting to see how this game plays out. I think this is a big one for the division, for the future of the division, not just for these two teams, but in how they're going to be able to play the Texans.
True. And I think the biggest thing for the Jags is that they need to make some moves in the offseason. I mean, later in the season if they can, but they need to make some moves to really, really bolster that O-line right now, because it's looking a little sad. But realistically, the receiver core is just not there. You're really not getting it. And I need some more accuracy for Trevor Lawrence. I need to see him put some balls downfield. I need to see a lot more from him. It's just lackluster for me. Very lackluster.
All right, this one, this is my icky game of the week.
Toilet
there
bowl.
are a couple to pick from. Man, Dolphins, Pats. Huntley today, I believe, might have been yesterday, will be the Week 5 starter for the Dolphins. So we know what they're doing.
What about Drake May? Can we get Huntley versus Drake May to make this game somewhat interesting?
Would that be better?
It would 100%. Skylar Thompson is god awful, and Jacoby Brissett has been through the Patriots organization so many times. I thought he was Superhead. He is just back in there over and over. Who is? I'm sorry, but it's just not a good offense with him in there. I don't care if he knows the playbook or not. That doesn't mean shit if you can't perform. Doesn't mean anything.
Stevenson,
I'm sorry, but an NFL quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no.
I'm just going
double-digit touches, man. you need more yards. You need to get more out of your team. You need to get more out of your quarterback. I'm not exactly sure what the closest thing to a player coach we've ever had in the NFL. I don't know what Mayo is doing. I don't know if Drake May said something wrong during camp or what, but I mean, how many games do you have to get blown out and look completely inept before you just see what you have in your rookie quarterback?
Well, here's an argument that I heard this week that makes some sense to me, even though I don't necessarily like it. It's when you've got a young coach and you've got a young quarterback, you've got two options. You can either throw the quarterback in there and see what he's got, feel it out, but then you end up in a situation with a situation like Bryce Young, who I feel like just from the organization wasn't really set for him. Same thing with some of the other guys in the NFL. Justin Fields, same thing. The organization just really isn't set for him. Or you're a rookie coach and you want to see you're a young coach and you want to see the quarterback develop. So it's less about winning the games in that first season and more about him just understanding the game, getting comfortable, seeing what the field is like, seeing what the play pace is like. Is it which one of those? If you're a head coach, do you want that guy to come in and potentially kill any momentum or any drive or anything that he has, any development that he has sitting behind a more experienced quarterback, and watching the game and seeing how it plays out from the sideline? Do you throw him to the fire knowing that the team is not good, knowing that you don't have weapons, knowing that you don't have a good defense, knowing that you don't have a great offensive line? Like, what's the play there? So if that's the case, I can understand why. Everybody wants to see the young quarterback, especially if you drafted him. So you draft him high, you want to see that young quarterback in there because you want to see what he's got. You want to see why they took him where they took him. But I don't know, man. It's tough. It would be different if I saw other pieces that made me think Drake May would make a difference. But the problem is that I don't see that. I don't see that at all.
The whole team sucks, and their wide receivers make the Jaguars guys look like Pro Bowlers. Like, it's
100%.
It's not a good team. Stevenson's a pretty good runner.
Christian Kirk would be a number one receiver. Christian Kirk would be a number one receiver on this team.
Yeah, and he'd have 400 yards for the season. Like,
they need to trade for Juwan Johnson. They need to trade for Juwan Johnson.
Man, that pipeline's in place, don't they? Don't they swap with the 49ers all the time?
But not in a good way. They give them away for like peanuts. That's the worst problem.
I mean, they made out on Jimmy G at the end of the day. It took a few years, but I mean, they traded him for, it was like a second and a third or something, wasn't it? Like, it was like nothing.
Jimmy G didn't do
That's what I'm saying.
Checks.
Like they
checks on checks. Look, the Patriots don't get anything for these trades. All right, they give them away for peanuts. I mean, the guys go somewhere else. They usually have a decent career for a bit. Jimmy G is one of those great exceptions where no matter where he goes, he gets injured. I wish I could have Jimmy G's career. I wish I could be good for like half of one season every year, and then just ride that for like 2 years, and then leave the organization.
Didn't he date Mia Khalifa for a while?
Sure as fuck did. What a guy.
He's rich.
What a guy.
He's rich. He dates porn stars. He's an objectively good-looking dude. Yeah.
Pretty dude.
Speaking
I'll
of
take
dating
NFL
porn
quarterbacks any day.
Browns Commanders.
I think you're using the word dating loosely, and I think you're using porn star loosely.
Yeah, I mean, he thought they were porn stars. He also thought they were dating.
Fair enough. Oh my goodness. Well, I am actually super excited about the fact that we're going to see the same trend happen and continue over the NFC East, because the Washington Commanders are the best team in the NFC East by far. Jaden Daniels has looked like an absolute stud at the beginning of the season. Didn't think that offense would be so potent and so dynamic. And granted, they're not necessarily playing against the best teams and the best defensive teams yet so far. But I mean, 82% completion percentage through the first 4 games of the season is insane. One game with 91. I mean, granted, we did just watch last night. We did just watch Jared Goff go 18 for 18. But This is we did. Yeah. But that's a whole different team than what we're watching right now. And also, quick shout out to my guy Cliff Kingsbury. This man went to the Cardinals, fleeced them for 25 mil, left and went to Thailand, came back, Commanders OC doing damn thing. Kudos to him.
I mean, it's just like guys who can't quite make it as a starter and end up being a really important role player somewhere. Some guys shouldn't be head coaches. He's a phenomenal offensive mind. He made Kyler Murray look like an NFL quarterback, and now he's got a big Kyler Murray. Like
he's got a more accurate Kyler Murray, 6'4" Kyler Murray. Yeah.
No, I'm very.
I mean,
excited.
to go from Heisman to Heisman is pretty good. To go from Heisman to Heisman is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's like so little of the college game translates to the NFL. So being able to find these Heisman type guys, right? Because the Heisman guys aren't NFL quarterbacks, right? They're not pocket passers. They're not pro style quarterbacks. They're quarterbacks who can run the damn ball. So seeing that translate into the NFL in a meaningful and successful way, it's cool to see. It's a really, really cool trend. I'll even give a bone to Lamar. I hate Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson wishes he could be these guys. Anyway, I'm excited to see
for running back.
Right? If the Commanders could build momentum here, this is it. This is the division. I mean, you said it. I think 95% seriously, they're the best team in the division, and
I'm
truly
100% serious. The Cowboys, inconsistent, dog trash. The Eagles, inconsistent, dog trash. And the Giants, consistently dog trash. They are not even close to the same level. Yeah, let's just be real about it. I mean, you can pay a quarterback $250 million over a contract and not get the performance that you're getting. And Jaden Daniels on his rookie contract is just saying, "Oh, you guys I won the Heisman, and this is why." I had my guy Michael Penix. I thought he was the most NFL ready quarterback coming out of that draft class. Now he's sitting behind Kirk Cousins, and honestly, it can't hurt him per se. Realistically, he's just going to develop behind a quarterback who we know he can develop behind, a good guy and a leader. But to see Jaden Daniels just come out and just throw in pinpoint accuracy is the beautiful part of it. He's so accurate with the ball. He's putting it on his receivers, and they got rid of their number one receiver. Let's just talk about that. They got rid of Dotson and still having a potent offense. Brian Robinson and Eckler look phenomenal in that backfield. Brian Robinson, I mean, he's going to be my unsung running back right now.
Man, he's feeding McLaurin, which is something they haven't done since the kid's been there. He's a phenomenal route runner. He's got great hands. He's always open.
Funny enough, Terry McLaurin, I think as far as NFL wide receivers, and I have to check this, but he's had the most seasons with 1,000 receiving yards or without having the same quarterback. He's had different quarterbacks each time, but each time he's had 1,000 receiving yards, and at least 1,000 receiving yards in those seasons. I mean, that tells you that he's a good receiver in a bad organization or a program that couldn't find their guy. And I think they definitely found their guy now. I think they're going to be rolling. I like the way the Commanders are looking, and I take them definitely over the Browns this week, but I take them to win the division.
Yeah, I'm just afraid. I'm afraid if they don't continue to build the momentum, it's a young team. The Cowboys are going to be there at the end. Whatever the Cowboys do, the Cowboys will be at the end of the season with 9-10 wins. So the Commanders just need to keep winning because Cowboys are going to be there. But I'm with you. I think they're the best team in the division, and I would love to see them win the division. I think it would be really, really cool for football.
Absolutely. And it's funny, again, it's one of those stats where I believe it's for the past 12 years at least that the NFC East has not had a recurring champion.
A repeat.
Every single year has been a different team win the championship. So let's see that continue.
Oh, Peter came in. Says Vikings 31, Jets 14. I can get behind that, Peter. I think that might be too many points for the Jets. If I'm looking for a hole to put in it, I think it's too many points for the Jets. But yeah, we talked about them a little bit ago, and man, the Vikings look good. They are
The only reason
definitely
that the
efficient.
thing for me is that the Jets have the offensive players to score 30 points a game. Right? They've got one
Brees Hall
very
alone.
Brees Hall and Garrett Wilson. You get the ball to feed the rock to those guys and watch them go. Like they're going to make moves. They should absolutely have a much more potent offense. It's just something about New York, man. I mean, the Jets are only the second worst team in New Jersey, and and the worst, and they have the least divisional wins in their own division. They're the fifth,
which is wild because the Dolphins and the Patriots are awful.
Oh goodness,
I can't. All right, I'll leave you to this one. Raiders, Broncos. Broncos 2.5 point favorite. You let me know. I have one sentence to say about this game. You let me know when you want it.
All right, I'm gonna say right now, good win for the Raiders. I needed to see that this week. I'm gonna take the Raiders in this game against the Broncos. I think that their offense is still more potent, and they have a veteran quarterback at Gardner Minshew, who, even though he's not been a top tier quarterback in the NFL, I think that they can put it together. I think that one thing that we missed this week, and one thing that looked good this week, was the Raiders D-line, actually. When the Raiders D-line looks good, look out. When they're hitting the quarterback, when they're rushing, when they're getting to him, look out. But that was without Crosby in this week. So, I'm just saying I like the Raiders in this game. I think if they can get Devontae was out last week, and lo and behold, we got Tucker in there. We got a couple other guys in there who really stepped up in the pass game. So I'd like to see the Raiders win this game. I take the Raiders in this game, in a tight game, especially since it's a divisional game. Broncos at home, but I'm taking the Raiders.
All right. Well, now I have a question and a statement. My question is, you said potent offense, and I don't want to get into the weeds on that. Is the Raiders offense better than the Bucks and the Jets?
Again, is the Raiders offense better than the Bucks? No. Is the Raiders offense better than the Jets? Statistically, yes. But I'm going to go ahead and say it shouldn't be.
So the Broncos shut those teams down. Those are verified high-power teams. Is this you as a Raiders fan, or is this you as an analyst?
No, and I'm going to say you say verified high-powered teams, and I say inconsistency. Right, the Bucks have been significantly more consistent. I think their offense behind Baker just looks really good. It looks crisp, it looks clean, and they definitely found their guy in Irving back there. You've always Mike Evans is always going to be a problem in the secondary with his size and his catch radius. But the Jets have been so inconsistent. Again, we can talk about the Jets scoring 30 points, or we can talk about the Jets scoring 9. And it's the same exact offense. It's same offense week to week. So I'm going to go ahead and say that the difference is that we're talking about divisional rivals here, right? We're talking about teams who've played each other over years, every year, at least twice a year. So the Raiders are going to have a much better understanding of the Cowboys, offensive style scheme. A lot closer feel to that. Also, you will see a lot more Raiders fans in Denver than you would have seen, in the other way around. So I think it'll be a tight game. I see it being more like a 3-point game, 1-score game. But I'm taking the Raiders.
Give me under whatever the number is. I don't know what it is right now. Give me Broncos to win, Raiders to cover, 16-14. Super Bowl or bust, baby. There hasn't been a quarterback in Denver this good for a long time.
Oh my goodness!
Give me Tebow Jr. Tebow Jr. Broncos might never lose again.
Oh goodness! The only thing they're gonna lose is their goddamn minds.
I try to keep my fandom under the radar. I am not a Broncos fan. I'll let you guys know that. But man,
Rick is not a fan, but he's an advocate. All right, once he finds a guy that he likes, he's going to ride that train. I think. I mean, last year it was Bronco Country, let's ride, and now it's Super Bowl or bust.
Bowl or bust. He might be the best running quarterback in the NFL.
Oh, you shut your gosh darn mouth. You shut your gosh darn mouth. All right. I didn't even want to curse. That's how angry I was at that statement. We're going to move on from this game.
All right. So speaking of rivalries, go to the NFC West. We got another one of these games that just jumps out to me, like that Cardinals or the Rams-Niners game we were talking about the other day. This is Cardinals 49ers. 49ers 7.5-point favorite. Give me the Cardinals. Give me the Cardinals all the way, and you could probably talk me into the money line. This feels like a trap game.
You know what?
Give me the Cards.
Honestly, I can't even go against you on that. I like the Cards right now. The Niners are just they're in disarray with all the injuries, and Brock can throw the ball. You saw what he's gotten the ball to Jennings. He's getting the ball to Ayuk, or at least trying to get the ball to Ayuk. I mean, 5 targets, 2 receptions. What can you do on that one? Kittle's getting the ball finally. He's feeling like he's getting the ball. Got a couple receptions there. Still needs to get some more though. I mean, 15 completions for 288 in the last game. 1 tutty, 1 sack. Or sorry, 1 tutty, 1 sack, 1 pick. So not crazy numbers, but if you need him to be a game manager, that'll work. But the I don't know. I feel like the Cardinals just feel like they're getting into their groove right now. They just feel like they're getting into their groove, and watching them as the Phoenix team, seeing the energy not just from the fans in the city. I don't know. It feels like they're starting to get a groove here. So I like the Cardinals in this game. I'm going to agree with you, Rick. Now, you said you could get talked in the money line. That's a question there.
This would be like one of those games. The 49ers would be up like 24-8 at halftime, and Debo will have like a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown. Cardinals will come back and run back the second half kickoff for a touchdown, and Connor will get involved. And this is like 36-33 in overtime kind of crap. This is like Kyler Murray knowing that he's got about 3 weeks before Call of Duty comes out. He's got to put those stats up. He's going to take them down the field several times, but they'll finish it close. Right? I just want to see DeMarcado get involved. Like this, this has that feel to it, the NFC West feel to it. This isn't going to be Niners winning by 8 points and just like riding off into the sunset. I think this is going to be like a slugfest, and if it goes late or goes to overtime, I like the talent. But this is a crazy thing to say, and I'll own that. I like the talent on the Cardinals more than what San Francisco brings to the table right now. They're more dynamic. They're not better players. They're more dynamic players. And that's crazy. They got Debo Sanders on this team, who could be a starting running back for half the teams in the league. But Cardinals, baby.
I've liked the Niners' offensive scheme, and their defense has been consistent in the last couple of years. This year, I mean, Fred Warner he's electric. He's the best linebacker in football. Let's just be real about that. So if you had to pick 2 players right now, one from each team who is going to make the difference in this game, who do you need the best performance from on the Cardinals? The unsung hero, the guy who
it's
the
Kyler,
Cardinals he performed
not unsung.
well.
I need Kyler Murray to be Kyler Murray.
That's right. You need top tier Kyler Murray. You need top tier Kyler Murray. You need Call of Duty out of my mind, Heisman. Your rookie offensive rookie of the year, Pro Bowl version of Kyler Murray. Of course,
the one that doesn't make the boneheaded plays. And I think on the Niners side of the ball, it's Mason. I think it's all going to revolve around Mason. They should have all the wide receivers back. But, man, if they can't get that running game going, Purdy's a great quarterback, very accurate quarterback. If they can rush him, knowing that the run game is not a risk, they can stop him. I think they can stop him. So I think it's Mason for the Niners. I think that's the most important player in the whole game. And then Kyler Murray would be number 2.
Understandable. If I had a choice right now, I'm thinking I need Trey McBride, and I'm going to need probably this was a tough one only because I think the Niners defense is really when their defense is on, there's really nobody touching them. But I need juice. I need Kyle Juszczyk to be more useful in this game. I think that he's a dynamic player, and I think that him in the backfield blocking, gives Purdy some time, and I think if you actually get him split out and get him into some of these plays, I mean, he's definitely, in my opinion, he's the most dynamic fullback in the NFL. You can set him up in the back, in the backfield.
Name three more fullbacks. You know, it's a dying position.
Ooh, that's tough. It's tough. But it's only a dying position because they don't get used to the same They don't get used the same way anymore. You know, they really go with these single back sets and they go with these 2 tight end sets. And if you have he's a fullback that is a tight end, and he's a fullback that is a running back, and he's a fullback that can split out. Like what? Like George Kittle and Kyle Juszczyk are the same guy, but with
yeah. Juszczyk might have better hands.
Yeah. Oh, better, and Kittle's got better route running.
Yeah. If you told me that Vonta Leach was coming out of retirement to lead block for Derrick Henry, I would watch only Ravens games. Only Ravens. I wouldn't watch anything else.
Max Strong.
Red Zone, what? I just watching that.
My fullbacks: Max Strong, Vontae Leach was one of them. There were some. Oh my goodness, there's some really good fullbacks that people slipped on.
Don't you dare not remember in the creamsicle jersey.
Give it to me. It's eluding me right now. Give it to me.
Made me sad today.
It happens. I got a good memory, but it ain't that good.
Made me sad.
Let the people know.
No. I'm gonna
move on. All right. He's gonna move on. All right.
Packers, Rams. This game intriguing to me because the Packers are going to go with their winless quarterback over their undefeated quarterback.
Yeah, that's stupid. That's stupid.
Yeah. I don't know if he was still hurt or I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know why. If he wasn't ready to play, why you'd stick him in there? He didn't look great. The offense didn't look great. I don't know if it was just because the Vikings kind of got all over him from the beginning or what. But,
they jumped up early.
Yeah, I don't know.
Here's my thing.
I don't like it.
Here's my thing. When he's healthy, Jordan Love throws off his back foot way too often. When he's not healthy, yeah. So him coming off injury, having to get back into a little bit of a game shape, especially only being a couple week injury, it's like, okay, he's not injured, but he's not 100%. And taking hits, yeah. Yes, okay. God, look, you should have just said it. All right, my call stopped.
Well, you weren't supposed to stop. We were supposed to just let it pop up on the screen.
No, I cannot. I can't do it. All right. Shout out to Mike Allstott. I just couldn't. But we're back. I'm telling you right now,
neck roll, man.
He was an absolute
Him
beast.
And Bill Romanowski looking like twins.
Oh, and Bill Romanowski with the cocaine, just out there racking people.
What?
Yeah, hey, everybody knows. All right, there's no reason we ain't got to hide it. All right, we ain't got to hide it. We know. He was crashed out, but I digress.
90s football was different, man.
It was different. When you fighting your own teammates. Yeah. It was good stuff.
All right, I apologize. Packers, Rams.
It's all right. Back up. Jordan Love off his back foot. He's definitely not the same. I don't care what anybody from the Packers say. He's not Brett Favre, and he's not Aaron Rodgers. I think he showed some promise last year, but watching his footwork, watching him his mechanics, you see him throwing off that back foot, and you see some of those balls either air out way too far or get thrown short, and you're like, well, why is he doing that? Oh, watch his mechanics. So I'm not sure that they need to pick up a little bit of a QB coach, but Malik Willis seems to be doing a great job, and he's making great decisions. And I don't see how you bring Jordan Love back with Malik Willis rolling like that instead of letting him heal fully. Let him heal fully, right? Don't throw him back in there this early. Let him go to I don't know when's the Packers bye week.
I can find it.
When's the Packers bye week? I mean, if you can get him to the bye without taking an L, why not do it? You know.
I thought it was like 7 or 8.
I'm just saying.
Because that's how long they were talking about it. Ooh, no, I think it's
it's
late.
So yeah, that's my thing.
Maybe?
Is it later?
Yeah, week 10. Week 10.
Mm.
I mean, if
Look,
they had
all
rolled
I'm
it,
saying is you left the guy who's win roll.
yeah, but does he? Is that real? You know, they beat the Titans.
Is it real? Yes. Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
know.
But here's my thing, right? If he doesn't play this game, who was it? Is it any better for Malik Willis to lose to the Vikings than for Jordan Love to lose to the Vikings? Now we're having this conversation, right? Malik Willis plays that third game,
Sure.
he loses. Bring back Jordan Love. No one says anything. Malik Willis doesn't play that game. Jordan Love plays, loses. Now we're arguing over who should be the starting quarterback because one's 0-2, one's 2-0. So
I think if Malik Willis had any passing ability or had won games with his arm, the conversation would have a little more merit. I think Packers fans are very much get in line, right? Follow what the organization is saying.
Mhm.
So you're not going to have like this public outcry you are in other cities where it's like, we want the backup to play, or why didn't you play this guy? The Packers fans just do what they're told. And so I think you have less of that fan and media blowback that larger market teams will always have. So you can do stuff like this because yes, there's very little tape on Jordan Love, right? He doesn't have that many NFL games under his belt. But the Packers as an organization, the Packers as a fan base have never had a quarterback who didn't just step in and do a good job, right? So Willis going 0-2 isn't flowers for Willis, it's the Packers.
Okay.
The Packers are good. The Packers are going to win. So plugging Jordan Love back into a game where you get essentially blown out by the Vikings, that's not Jordan Love's fault. You didn't bring Jordan Love back too early. It's just, that wasn't a game we were going to win, right? So I think this next game, this game against the Rams, a Rams team who is devastated by injury. If the Packers win this game, if Jordan Love throws for 202 touchdowns and a pick, they're right back on schedule. You're right back on track. And then now, we know coming into week 5, the Vikings are the class of the division, I think, which is saying something because the Lions look incredible, but you're chasing, right? And they can always point. I don't think the Packers win the division at this point. They could. They're 2-2. They could. But
I don't.
If they don't win the division,
could.
It's not Jordan Love's fault because he was injured. I'm hearing the narrative already. So this whole season's not Jordan Love's fault. But man, if they come back and win 11 games and Jordan Love is the greatest quarterback of all time, and how can the Packers never do it, right? Like, we've had the best quarterbacks for the last 25 years. Like, I can hear the echo chamber and I can understand like how it's going to happen. And honestly, Packers 3.5. I might have this backwards on the sheet. I think this game's in Green Bay. This game is in LA, and it's Packers 3.5.
It's in LA, yeah.
Which is a wild number to me, but I think the Packers have the capability to win this game. And I think whatever happens,
the depleted Rams.
I mean, they still have the best running back in this game.
I disagree with that. I like Kyren Williams, but I was a Josh Jacobs fan. I love Josh Jacobs. I mean, Williams has been consistent as hell. Don't get me wrong. Like, he has been hella consistent.
Smaller sample size, though, too.
Over the past 2 seasons. Yeah, but Josh Jacobs had at least one Pro Bowl season, and he's not a bad running back by any means, which is that people don't realize is like he played in a system with the Raiders that wasn't the most potent offensive system, really wasn't, and was a good running back for them. And so going to a team that has a better organizational structure, that has seen some solid running backs come through there and some good just rushing offenses. Like, I don't think that the Packers should win this game.
I think the Packers should win.
It's just sad that the Rams go to 1-4.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay away from it from a betting standpoint.
Taking the Rams now?
Like, I don't want my money on this game, but I think the Packers should win this game. They're the better team.
Absolutely.
but
I agree with
rarely
that.
does that matter.
Any given Sunday, baby. Any given Sunday.
Giants Hawks. Hawks coming off I won't call it uninspired play, but not a great Monday night game. I mean, went up against literally the best quarterback game from a consistency standpoint in the history of the NFL. So that's a little hard to overcome. But I liked what I saw from the Seahawks. I feel like for such a mature team, they got a lot of growing pains they're going through this year. They seem to be not whole. The wide receivers are great. The wide receivers have been there, right? JSN is the youngest guy. He had a great year last year. He's having a great season now. He runs great routes. The running backs are solid. The Charred Bonnet is one of my favorite players to scream when we're watching Red Zone because it pisses Kendall off that I call him that. But
Charbonnet's pronounce his name incorrectly.
Charbonnet's been good. Walker was incredible last night.
I'm about to say yeah. Give me that right. Like last night, Kenneth Walker. Which,
Were you
by the
watching?
way, let's just be honest. I did watch.
You see the backflip? The double
Kenneth Walker. Holy
backflip?
shit! Yes,
He's
yes.
insane.
The
He's insane.
most athletic play I've seen this year, hands down, and that includes all the one-handed catches. That's incredible. He literally just backflipped off a defender and then kept running. Like incredible athleticism. I will say this though. Seattle has not scored less than 23 points in a game this season, and they have 2 losses. One loss. Sorry, they got the one loss to Detroit. They won in overtime against the Patriots. They beat a crappy Miami team. They beat a crappy Denver team. So playing against the Giants seems like a no-brainer to me. I'm taking Seattle in this game.
Yeah, line is
Easy money.
6.5. I don't think there's any way Seattle doesn't win this game. There's something about laying a touchdown that makes me feel really uncomfortable. The Giants
it's a flat
suck,
twenty. They're awful.
but like their defense has shown up like in crucial spots, not for games and not for drives, but like bend but don't break at the goal line when it matters most. You know, like I could see them like tie game driving at the end, and the Giants like give up a 99-yard drive, and then the Seahawks settle for a game-winning field goal. Like,
so here's my problem with anybody wanting to agree with anything on the Giants. Now, granted, the line for the Cowboys game was what? Was it 6-point line? And they ended up being a 5-point game, something like that. I think it was a 6-point line with a 5-point game. The Giants have not scored more than 21 points this season. They had 2 games where they scored 21.
5.5. 5.5. They won by 6.
5.5. Yeah, and they won by Cowboys. They lost by 5. 20-15. Exactly. So
that's what I'm talking about. Give me the Giants plus 7.5 or 6.5. That's crazy.
You know what? Besides the Vikings game, Giants would have if you go 6.5, they make it every time, except for the Vikings game, the first game. But the 12th man is nothing to be played with. All right, they're playing cross country. They're playing against a team who's averaging 23, 24 points a game, and they've not scored 23 points yet. I'm going to take Seattle in this game, but
stadium sound and fan noise only matters if your offense is based off of cadence or like confidence or competence. I don't think the 12th man matters to the Giants because what are you going to disrupt? You're going to have old boy standing there covering his ear holes. He's going to walk up to the line and not even know what play he's calling, miss a handoff and just throw to the tight end. Like crowd noise is not going to factor in because like, does it matter what play gets called?
I mean, they're just going to throw it to Malik Neighbors. You got it. All right, over under 8 receptions for Neighbors.
Ooh, 8's a lot.
I mean, you just said, crowd noise, right? Can't hear anything. So you're going to just go. It's going to be a lot of
things. Might only have 45 plays and throw it 30 times.
Fair enough. I'm just saying he's going to his first read.
I got under
8. Okay. He's definitely going for his first read each time. Like it's not gonna be close. He's going with the first read, whoever it is. After that, he doesn't have any time, so it won't matter.
Well, so the
Yeah.
Seahawks, the one knock I can really have on the Seahawks is they have no pressure at all. So he might actually have time to go through some of his progressions. They did not pressure the
Against
Lions
Detroit?
at all. I mean, 18 for 18 passing doesn't tell the whole story there. Impressive, great quarterback. I like Goff, but Goff, I don't think, completed a single pass on free plays. Every penalty that was committed, the Seahawks were jumping off sides constantly because they couldn't get any pressure at all. So the Giants' offensive line isn't as good as the Lions' offensive line, but if the Seahawks can't get any pressure on the quarterback, give me the Giants plus the points. Give me Neighbors under 8 catches. You might be 7 for like 125 yards, but all right. Cowboys.
Can't argue with that. I mean, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sunday Night Football.
Sunday night, baby.
That was it. Sunday Night Football. Yeah.
If you're new, we hate the Cowboys on this podcast. Not enough where if the Cowboys wanted to come on the show or sponsor the show or retweet the show that we'd be upset about it. For me, it's like the Packers. It's like, let's move on. Let's talk about something different. But this is a primetime game, so we will talk about this. How about them Steelers?
All I'm saying is Justin Fields is in the right organization right now. He's got a coach that understands how to win in any situation. He's got a strong defense behind him and some really good leaders on his defensive side. And his job is to not be bad. Realistically, his job is to not be bad. He doesn't have to throw for 300, 350 yards in order to win games. He just doesn't have to suck. If I'm Justin Fields, I'm sitting pretty. He's got he also has a very experienced quarterback backing him up now, who may never see the field this season, at least in a Steelers jersey, and still getting the mentorship. He's in the prime location for himself right now in a division that is underperforming. It's the exact, he's Cinderella, man. I don't know what happened, but he's Cinderella, bro. Like everything just lined up for him. I don't know how to say it, but I mean, I'm up on Justin Fields right now.
Sean, can we hop in our time machine?
Let's do it.
Can we go back? It's Labor Day, 2024. I'm about to tell you that week 5, the Steelers are 3-point favorites over the Cowboys, and that Justin Fields is the quarterback. You buying that? Are you buying that?
Well, anything against the Cowboys, I'm buying. So 100%. I will bet against the Cowboys if they're playing against Little League team. I don't care. I'll lose the money. Doesn't bother me. Somehow it'll find a way to do it. The biggest issue for the Cowboys right now is that defense. The secondary the secondary couldn't stop a fish with a fishing net. Like they just can't do anything right now. They're obliterated. I'll be honest with you. They are obliterated in the secondary. But the defensive line doesn't have really time to get pressure, and they're not getting pressured as they have in previous years. And so you really just are seeing them getting torched. Cowboys right now, I think realistically, and I don't ever want to bet on the Cowboys, but this should be a bounce back game. It should be a bounce back game for the Cowboys so long as they can protect Dak Prescott and have a moderate running game. They don't have to run for 150, 200 yards, but they have a moderate running game. You have to do enough work to keep TJ Watt out of your backfield. You have to. Otherwise, it's going to be a long day for Dakota.
So, to your point, Deron Bland will not make it back for this game. I guess it's possible, but they were saying last week probably not. Secondary's been exposed a couple times. I alluded to it earlier, but this is This is make it or break it for the Cowboys. In order to be there at the end of the season with those 9-10 wins to take the division from the Commanders, you have to win against the teams that can't score any points. If you lose this game to the Steelers 19-11 or something stupid, we're getting closer to where everything matters a whole lot more. Week 5, if you drop a game where you can't score 20 points, you're running out of time. You're really running out of time. You know, the NFL has backloaded the schedule. You got to play your division. Right? The Giants suck. We talked about that. But the Cowboys could drop a game to the Giants. Winning 20-15 on a Thursday night doesn't make me feel great about their Week 17 matchup.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
you tell me this, right? You tell me this, right? You're looking at the Cowboys' schedule early, before the season starts, you're like, they got a pretty decent schedule they're working on. But then you're looking at it. You got the Steelers, who are looking good right now, defensively especially. You got the Lions, who look good. You got the Niners, who are inconsistent but have arguably one of the best defenses in the league. And when their offense is on, it's on. Falcons look like a solid team. Yeah, Falcons look like a solid team. And if their offense if they get deep on you in the secondary, good luck. Stop Bijan on the line, but if they get deep on you in the secondary, good luck. Eagles are inconsistent, but they can obviously beat the Cowboys. Texans, Commanders. Then you got a little soft spot with the Giants, Bengals, and Panthers. But then you go Bucks, Eagles, and Commanders again. So they've got maybe one little stint of the where they get like a little breather after the Commanders, right around Thanksgiving. But other than that, and then they kind of coast for a little bit early December. But other than that, they gotta play. They gotta play football. They gotta win games.
And that's what I'm saying. I know you like the Steelers. You're higher on the Steelers than I am. I really like what I'm seeing from the Steelers and from Justin Fields. I'll give him his dues, but this is the game the Cowboys have to win. 100%. This is not a challenging game, right? This is a game where you're playing a superior defense, but you're the Cowboys. You have $400 million on the offensive side of the ball. You have to win this game.
Two players.
You cannot lose this game.
No, I agree with you. Cowboys going 2-3 after paying Dak and paying CD. It's a bad look for Dallas. It's a bad look. Yeah. People start burning jerseys already. See people burning jerseys already.
Just skip. He'll do that same shit where his wife will be holding it and he'll come and slam it into the garbage can. The guy's a monster.
Honestly, I just love watching post Cowboys games. Stephen A. Smith. That's my favorite. It can't. It's just the how about them Cowboys? I love it.
Monday Night Football
on the slate. Last game on the slate.
Saints, Chiefs. I just don't know anymore. Now that Patrick Mahomes has decided the only way to salvage the season is to intentionally injure his own players. I heard today that Travis Kelce was thinking of retiring so he could be a full-time backup dancer. And, the Saints kind of looked like the Saints again a little. I'm so confused. I'm so confused about these teams specifically because if you told me this was 50-0, either way, I'd believe it. If you told me this was 17-13, either way, I'd believe it. I'm not sure what to expect out of this game. It's almost to the point where, I want to fly to Kansas City because I want to be here because this game makes so little sense to me. Something crazy that we've never seen before in the NFL is going to happen. I don't know what it is, and I don't know who wins this game, but I know that Kamara is going to score. Stupid Carson Steele is going to score for no reason. We're going to hear about his alligator somewhere, which I do appreciate. And these two quarterbacks, I think they're going to combine for 650 passing yards. But I can't tell you who wins. And I don't know if that translates to points. I'm fascinated by this game. I will be glued to my TV for this Monday Night Football game.
I mean, beating the Chiefs at home, beating the Chiefs period is hard enough. Beating the Chiefs at home, good luck. I see the Saints have a powerful enough offense to put the points on the board to get the job done. But you also have to stop Patrick Mahomes, who will throw the ball to freaking anybody. This is a season, by the way, where the Chiefs' offense has underperformed. Underperformed.
Yeah.
However,
Yes.
they haven't given up. The closest game was the Bengals game where they lost by 1 point. And they haven't given up more than 25 points in the game. That was the most. They've given up 10, 20, and 17. So the defense is still playing solid. The defense is still playing solid. You got Chandler Jones on that line, and I mean that guy is a difference maker as far as rushing the quarterback. I think that the offensive line is going to be really telling for both teams because the Saints D-line is a lot better than people realize. Chase Young is anchoring that D-line, and you're really seeing some strength come out of there. So I think it's going to be an interesting game.
I was going to say the Chiefs' defensive backs, even when they're playing like shit, then they get dirty. They get nasty, and then it works. Like they get in the heads of these wide receivers, and that works too. And they're the best team in football until proven otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
And when you watch them, things happen. It's not the refs, Chiefs fans. No one cares. It's not the refs, but like things happen. They just win games. Like everything kind of comes together. Like you have to play your best game to beat the Chiefs. And if you're at 95%, the Chiefs beat you. I don't know.
Here's my favorite part.
Overcome that.
You don't. You got to play 100%. Here's the thing from me, right? The Chiefs lost their number one running back. Their second string running back is out. They go off and sign Kareem Hunt, who is still a very potent runner. The Chiefs wide receivers have been literally just a random slew of guys for a few years. But yet you've got Xavier Worthy in there. And, I mean, McCole Hardman was actually a pretty solid receiver. Juju Smith-Schuster is not a bad receiver. So you've got these guys in it. Justin Watson is their 3 on the depth right now. But, like, I could easily take one of those other guys. He's going to get the ball to him. And this past week, Noah Gray stepped up. So now Travis Kelce hasn't even had to do anything, really. He's still obviously their number one guy, but imagine when he actually becomes, Yeah, he played good this week. But I mean, he did. But in a 2 tight end set now, because now you got Noah Gray. Now you got Noah Gray out there as opposed to 3-4 wide. So I like the fact that they can literally put in other guys and still have a performing offense because Patrick Mahomes knows what to do with the ball. It really, I think, is going to come down to how well both offensive lines play. Because if the Chiefs O-line gets handled by the Saints, then it's going to be a tough time. They won't be able to move. They won't be able to, get the rush offense going, which allows the field to spread a little bit more. And they run a three wide, 1 tight end set. So I think if they move to a 2 tight end set and with Noah Gray and Travis Kelce, that doesn't change too much for them. That gives them a little more bolstering on the line to be able to fight off that charge. But the same thing's got to happen for the Saints. I think the Saints, they've got a dynamic running back in Alvin Kamara.
Don't you do it.
Carr is putting the ball where he needs to. And Carr's putting the ball where he needs to in order to be Carr's not putting the ball where he needs to. How dare you, all right? As a Carr fan.
No. I thought you were about to talk about Taysom Hill.
What do you mean? The best quarterback tight end in the NFL?
See, that's my fault. I assumed you were going to, and now we're talking about it.
Yeah, you can't bring him up. And 2 touchdowns, fantasy stud. Just saying. He's Tim Tebow, but with no religion. He's Tim Tebow with no religion.
Today.
Hey, I said it.
Today.
I said it.
He's Tim Tebow with no drive.
That's fair enough. But I'll take the tutties though, and his money. I'll take his wallet any day.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Carson Steele doesn't move the needle for me. I'm not sure it matters if you don't have
Kareem Hunt's the starter. Kareem Hunt's the starter.
Mahomes. Wow.
Kareem Hunt's the starter. And look, be honest though.
Kareem Hunt doesn't have a pet alligator.
He doesn't need one because he's going to go in there and play football the way he needs to. I'm telling you right now, the drop off between Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt is a lot different than the drop-off between Isaiah Pacheco and Carson Steele. Carson Steele and Isaiah Pacheco run probably similarly, but as far as production goes, I think Kareem Hunt is going to be a good fit for this offense. And and I think they're going to be able to just kind of move forward with him. Carson Steele will be their third down back. Samaje Perine, shout out Oklahoma, Boomer Sooner. Is technically number 2 in the depth.
Isaiah Pacheco will never start for another NFL franchise, ever. He's not an NFL running back. He works really, really well in that system, but what we don't know is, can you just plug anybody? Well, we know you can't plug in Carson Steele. Can you plug in any real NFL running back and have the same kind of production? That's what I want to see. I don't think Pacheco's anything special.
There are plenty of guys in the NFL that are running backs that don't deserve a starting job, and Isaiah Pacheco is definitely one that deserves a starting job. I think that there's other running backs in the league that are worse than him.
Before anybody snips it or gets in the comments, we also, Sean and I both, could not play NFL running back. Just in case you're wondering, we are critiquing running backs without having the ability ourselves.
Yeah, I'm probably built more like a running back, and Rick probably more like a Carson Steele.
Me and Carson Steele have kindred spirit, man. We got a lot of redneck energy between the two of us, but only one pet alligator.
And yours is on your arm. You just keep that thing on you.
Oh, if anyone knows where I can adopt a real alligator, slide in the DMs.
You know, Florida.
Hey, we did a pretty good job today. We're at an hour 11, and we got sidetracked. We had some technical difficulties. I'm happy with this episode.
I am too. I'm glad we got some feedback from the crowd. Thank you guys in the comments. We appreciate it. Hey, Mom, how's it going?
Sean's mom, our biggest fan. My mama refuses to watch. She asked me today, she goes, when's the live stream for Fantasy Golden Bachelorette? Fantasy Golden Bachelorette live stream tomorrow after the show. Make sure you play on the Rose League. And I said, Mom, Sean and I have a live show tonight. Don't you want to watch it? No. Didn't sugarcoat it. Didn't baby it. She's like, no, I'll tune in for your stupid Bachelorette show, but I'm not watching. Yelling and screaming. It's like, cool. She's like, I'll let it run for 10 minutes and give it a like, but I'm not going to watch it live. I'm like, I'll take it.
Fair enough. Hey, we get what we get, and we don't throw a fit.
This was week 5, guys. Real quick, bye weeks start hitting right now. There's a gap in the middle of the season, but buys this week: Lions, Titans, Chargers, Eagles.
Eagles needed this. Eagles needed this. Tennessee needed this. Lions didn't need it. They could have rolled. Chargers could probably use a bit of a reset. So
yeah, they need to get their quarterback healthy. Eagles got to get AJ Brown healthy.
Yeah.
Oof. So see how it goes.
All right. Well, I am excited. This is a great episode.
This was yelling and screaming. NFL Week 5. Thanks for joining us. Uh-oh. I think I lost Sean again. Well, hey, yelling and screaming, NFL Week 5. I am King of Lakemore. He is at KS Flash. We appreciate you. Let us know in the comments if there's anything we can do different, and I'll get to work on that intro video. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.